I Don't Get It
Podcast. Hey everyone, welcome to the I Don't Get It podcast. And today is a big day. We have 2/3 of the LadyGang podcast. I want to say it's almost like two ramble podcasts in one, sort of, kind of. Do you know what I mean? Because like we do these things. Okay, so we're joined by the 2/3 right now are Kelty Knight and Jack Vanek. These girls started the LadyGang podcast. It's been out since 2015. It was like truly the first. Like, I think I'm correct in saying it was like the first big popular girl chat podcast. Yeah.
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 I mean, I like
Yeah, no, for
I
sure.
think so.
And I feel like we have a lot of overlap in listeners. Like I would go as far to say that most people that listen to our podcast 100% are LadyGang listeners. Right? Right, Ashley? What do you
Well,
think?
it's very, very similar stuff because one, we talk about like millennial lady things, and we are 3 millennial ladies on both sides. And we all have like kind of similar like lifestyles, you know, entertainment hosts like Kelty, you know, like kind of like, I'm trying to find the right word, just like music enthusiasts, concert enthusiasts, you know, like Lauren and I have so much like growing up with just like pretending like we were on tour, like Jack, right? And Jack was basically,
I think they call that official term is groupie.
So I was trying not to use the word groupie, and I was very inarticulate about going about that. But you know, we'll talk to Jack whether that's like an appropriate term. And then and then Becca, who is not here, I met her in May at a Bobby Formula event because she just had a mom and she's using formula because she's had a surrogate, right? And we've just been on a lot of the same life paths. Anyway.
Very Jason. And Lauren's not here, by the way, if anyone's
right. So
wondering
it's
where Lauren is.
2/3. Oh, wait. It's 2/3 of both of our podcasts right now.
Yeah. We're two halves of a whole idiot.
And that's about all we can give at this moment.
Yes. Yeah, we're currently sitting on our tour bus. It's the first time that we're not groupies on a tour bus.
Thank God for you embracing that.
This is a room where many sexual encounters have happened, but not on this bus. On this bus, we have a cry, we have a fight, we have a blanket, and we have, just a normal... Nothing. I don't know what else we have. Well, we have nothing.
Have you guys ever gotten in like big fights with each other?
Not
because you guys have been close.
Not really. Like and it's weird because when we started the podcast, we weren't close at all. Like I had met Becca for the first time as we were trying to pitch the podcast to a network.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. So how did you guys all come together, for those that don't know?
She's a mastermind.
I'm an evil genius. So I knew Becca because we were dancers in New York City, and I was trying to be on Broadway, and Becca was on Broadway. And we were always auditioning against each other because we were both, at the time, I was like bottle blonde. And I would always get cut after the singing call because I can't sing a lick.
But she would try.
But I would try, honey. The word is try. Anyway, so Becca would get the jobs and I wouldn't. But anyway, we knew each other, like we ran in the same dancer friend group. And then she got Glee and moved to LA. And then that time I was a Rockette and then retired from Rockettes and also moved to LA. So she was on Glee and then I got a job. I was at the Insider at the time. This is like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And I'd see her on the red carpet. I was like interviewing her and we'd looking at each other and we're like, this is so bizarre. Like, what world are we in right now? Like, we're used to standing in line with 600 other blonde girls. And now like anyway, so weird. So we stayed friends and then we had a lunch one day and we're having a cry in our salads about how like we were going to get fired and no one was picking us and our careers were not great. And like, it wasn't what we thought it would be. And I was like, you know what? I would be great at a talk show. And then Becca was like, no one's going to give us a talk show.
Nobody knows who we are.
We're like, well, if no one's calling you to do the job you're currently doing, I guarantee no one's calling to give you a talk show, Oprah. And so I was like, well, what about a podcast? Because I was into podcasts. And then we're like, we need a third girl. We need someone who's not in the business. So it's not just like a Hollywood podcast. And Jack and I have a mutual ex-boyfriend.
Well, speaking of band guys.
Okay. I thought I was doing some background and I was like, these two, they met like at Warped Tour. Like they had they were like groupie girls back in like the tour bus parking lot.
It's amazing.
So I'm sure you know the band Panic at the Disco. Mm-hmm. So back in the day, there was a guy that's not in the band anymore, the guitarist, that I dated when I was 18. And then Kelty dated him a few years later. So she took my sloppy seconds. But then I ended up hooking up with him again. So
while she thought we were still dating. And let's just, he was hooking up with a lot of people while we were in a committed relationship.
No.
20s, you know, it's 20s.
But that's how we know each other, because it was back on the day where there was like Live Journal and people were like cosplaying us and making up these fan fictions
about Jack and I hating each other. Yeah. Actually, this is so funny. So today we are in Philadelphia. I don't know when this is coming out, but we're playing New York City tomorrow, which we're so excited about, the Gramercy Theater. And I'm preparing my Good Week, Bad Week for our live show. And I've been going through a lot of my old photos, and I actually found, so I was like a pretty good dancer, way better dancer than I am a podcaster. And I was on the cover of this dance magazine called Dance Spirit, which at the time was a big fucking deal. So anyway, I remember the hate between Jack and I at the time was so intense that I actually did the photo shoot in a Team Kelty t-shirt. Like I was Angelina fucking Jolie, and she was I was Jen Aniston. Do you remember the Team Aniston team?
Yeah, I had a Team Jolie shirt, and now I'm like, that was a whole bunch of effed up.
Yeah, it was really crazy.
It was horrible.
Anyway, I wore my own Team Kelty shirt because that's how I roll.
This was like the tabloid dance drama scene.
Jack didn't know I was alive, so that's cool.
I didn't care at all to have a Team Jack shirt, and I was like, I was on to bigger and better things.
That's
other band guys,
other band. How did you guys finally come together then, and how did the LadyGang come to fruition?
Well, Kelty just ended up reaching out to me very randomly.
We have a lot of mutual friends.
Yeah, and we've been in the same world. Her husband is a music manager, and I've, hooked up with the Million Band guys. So and so we like ran in the same circle, and this was like 10 years later. So the internet made us hate each other, but we liked each other.
I've always thought Jack was so cool. And I will tell you that, Jack, this new book, Lady Secrets, Jack Vanek is the brilliance of LadyGang. LadyGang would be hot garbage. It would just be my idiot ideas without Jack's branding. She went to school for graphic design. She's the coolest person. She obsesses over a font the way ladies obsess over their eyelash serums. Okay? Like she will spend, I'll be like, oh my God, look, we've got a full page ad in LA Mag. And she's like, who approved this font? Like
I was like, it needs to be edited. This is disgusting.
Yeah. It's like, you could be on the cover of Vogue and Jack would be like, I hate the font. And I'm like, that's the Vogue header. Okay. Like we don't change that. So she's just so brilliant at it. And with the book, like she designed the cover. She designed every single page inside, like start to finish. And so she really is this genius. And I knew that if I brought her, she can't do it on time. She's never going to do it on the day that it's due, but she will get there eventually creatively. And if I could I Kelty her through it, and together we made a brand.
Yes. And that's the best part of like girl groups too. I feel like even in our, like the I Don't Get It podcast, it's like all our strengths, whoever has like a strength or a weakness, I feel like we like, you know what I mean? Yeah. The other person. What am I trying to say?
You like fill in the gaps. And that's been the biggest thing why we don't get into fights, is because we all have completely different strengths and completely different weaknesses, and we stay in our lane. Like Kelty's never going to tell me that she thinks this font looks good or not. I'm never going to be like, Kelty, the way that you're producing the show, like I have a better idea. Like we trust each other so much for what we do best.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's it.
Does anyone else have a baby on your show?
No, I'm the only baby.
Just
so
Ashley.
I was going to say, like, identify yourselves, and you can identify Becca as like who your podcast identity is. Like, hi, I'm Ashley. I interrupt too much. I'm the married mom of the crew who loves to talk about women's medicine.
Wait, I love that.
I love that so much. That's a header.
Wait, Naz, what are you? Naz, what are you?
Yeah, what are you?
So I'm Naz, and I feel like I'm the extreme. I'm the single girl of a single 30s, Sex in the City rep here. And I am obsessed with holistic medicine and spiritual, like the opposite of Ashley.
Yeah.
Like, will not take any medicine.
Yeah, she's like,
committed to the self journey.
She's like, I'm so depressed. I'm like, come to the medication side.
Prozac.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, I'm going to go and work with wild horses in Utah and work through my trauma and anxiety.
Oh my God, I love that.
Because I'm extremely insecure. Yeah.
Do I'll go first?
Sure.
Okay, I'm Jack, obviously.
Obviously, Nick Lachey.
Obviously, Nick Lachey.
That was the best ever.
Obviously, I'm Nick Lachey.
I
love
to have a good time.
Yep.
I'm always searching for an adventure. I love a morning cocktail, and I'm always trying to carpe the diem and make very colorful, full life. And for the LadyGang, I just bring everything like creatively and branding wise.
Like she designed this tour tee, guys. Look at
that
it.
shirt is
Us
sick.
as skeletons,
Awesome.
And then the back.
That's amazing.
Like a Metallica shirt.
Like,
I was going to say, it's like the Metallica font. You're so good with the fonts, Jack.
So cool.
Yeah.
We have to go there in a second, but first, then I need the rest.
Kelty.
Yes.
Okay. I'm Kelty. I'm an A-type perfectionist who had a upbringing that was traumatic. And so I have only been loved when I've been achieving. And so
and by the way, did you take the Enneagram test?
Yeah, but I don't remember.
But I've done like every other one.
I don't remember what I am, but I know that when I took it and I saw the results, I was like, heck yes, that is me.
Oh my God. You have to take it because it describes describes both of us, how we are.
I'm like constantly achieving. Nothing's good enough. I'm very list oriented, but, and I hate humans. I hate people. I don't want to leave my house. This is very traumatic for me to be on tour. But when I choose you to be in my life, I'm so loyal. I will fucking kill for you. I will take someone down.
She will.
Like if you want to come for me, good luck. But any of my people, but there's only like 5 people.
And she'll do the thing where it's like, you're not going to know it hit you until 5 years from now because I've been scheming for so long. It's a long con.
That's so funny. You're a schemer.
I had a girlfriend, one of my best friends, be cheated on by her husband, and behind the scenes without her knowing, I hired a private investigator, caught the man at the park, had the photos in my phone for 6 months, and then texted them to him and his mother on the same text chain.
Wait.
I will cut you if you hurt my people.
Wait, this is like another level. Wait, I think the conversation needs to like veer into this direction because this is fascinating.
Well, first off,
have you ever hired?
I'm so overwhelmed right now. We have to do more crossover podcasts because like I feel like I'm just like, I have to take a step back right now because there's so much to talk about and there's so much good conversation here. I don't know where to go.
We're all foaming at the mouth. I'm Kelty. I have perfectionist issues. Yeah. Tell me about this private investigator.
Naz, go ahead.
Is he affordable?
Go ahead and dive. Go dive into it.
Yeah. Have you hired a private investigator before? Or was that the first time?
This was my first private investigator situation. It was as thrilling as you can imagine. I Googled private investigator in the town that she lived.
Okay.
It was a woman. It was about $300. It was very expensive, $375 an hour.
Wow.
And there's no guarantee that they're going to find anything.
Right.
But it only took her 2 days.
So how does it work? You call her, right? And you do you like have to provide addresses? Is it really them just staking out in a car?
Yes.
Like, I don't get it. I need to know how private investigating works.
It's so expensive because they just have to just have to wait around for nothing to happen. Oh, I don't know.
I gave them their home address. I gave them pictures from their wedding that I had. And then I knew that he worked at a furniture store. Live your life furniture store employee. Anyway, I knew he worked at this certain store in town and what the outfit was for that. And then basically, like, she would just go walk in the store, try to find him, see if he was working that day. Like, just like literally exactly like Cameron Diaz and There's Something About Mary. Like, you sat in the car and you waited till he walked and then you went into work and you sat there for 8 hours and then you came back. And then one day he just took his lunch break in a park and was drinking Red Bull and vodka on the table, making out with someone that wasn't your wife.
Oh my God. I'm sorry, but the Red Bull vodka part of it, I think, is the worst.
But first of all, like,
at least it wasn't Fireball. What year was this?
I love Fireball.
So wait, I'm confused. Why don't people like Fireball anymore? Because we were making fall drinks at Audrey's, and I was like, we should put Fireball in that thing.
I think Fireball is so
Jared was like, people don't like Fireball anymore. I go, what? Why not?
Yes, they do. Yeah. You know what? It's the only liquor I can drink. It's delightful.
It's delightful.
And it reminds me of my past, which
Same.
I love.
It reminds me of the Bachelor season.
Fireball had such a moment in our upbringing.
One of my not so secrets is that I had a huge postpartum hair thinning experience this summer, to the point where I saw sort of like that thinning up in my hairline, like the crown of my head. Mm-hmm. And that was definitely kind of like a blow to my self-confidence. I was like, I can't wear ponytails because if I wear ponytails, I feel like people can see all this hair thinning. Right. But everybody goes through it, and it's not the first time that I've gone through hair thinning before. I mean, I've gone through it when I got off birth control, through other periods of stress, through other periods of hormone fluctuations, and Naz, I know that you have too.
Yeah. I mean, when I got off birth control a couple of years ago, and this was definitely a lady secret of mine, my hair started thinning too. And that's when I started taking Nutrafol, which is a clinically effective natural supplement brand. And I got hair extensions. And I think not enough people, and women specifically, are talking about how hair struggles actually impacts the inside of you. So it's like, we know how it impacts the physical, like your hair is physically thinning, but a lot of us aren't talking about how it makes us feel and if it changes the way we feel about ourselves. I know that, I didn't feel as beautiful or as pretty. And I think what I love is that Nutrafol is now building this community called Shed the Silence. So you can go to shedthesilence.com and join the conversation. And you can talk about your hair stories with other women who are experiencing the same thing, because literally over half of women will experience hair thinning in their lifetime.
So you guys can join the conversation, share your stories, hear other stories at shedthesilence.com. That is shedthesilence.com.
Here's the thing. I'll take this back for a second, is that the reason that I'm so loyal, this is my personality, and this is the entire reason that we wrote Lady Secrets. Basically, everyone has a secret. Everyone has a secret life. We got submissions from women all over the world. I would say 47% of the submissions were people cheating on their significant others.
Oh my God.
Everyone's cheating. Everyone's pooping their pants. I literally just pooped my pants in, where were we?
Akron, Ohio.
Akron, Ohio.
Second day of tour, she shit her pants.
You can't poop on a tour bus. I ate too much gluten. I had to poop. I was carrying around a paper box and thought I could poop beside the dumpster in this box, but I didn't make it to the box.
And the worst thing is I made custom LadyGang sweatsuits for us. There's only 5 available, us 3 and our 2 employees.
I pooped my sweatsuit
in the sweatsuit. And it can't come out.
It won't come out. I cleaned it in the sink, and then I put it in a plastic bag under the bus. And then we just got to Philadelphia, where one of our employees lives, and she took it home to try to wash it. And then she held it up, and there's still a little bit of poop on it. It had to go in the garbage.
Oh my God. Not all heroes wear capes. I love that you just answered my question, because I was like, where on the tour bus is this being stored? That was my number one thought. Yeah. Wait, I love that you have tracksuits. So much to dissect here. But yeah, you're here. Obviously, we got to talk about lady secrets, because a lot of people do have secrets. I run a support group for people that are heartbroken called Heartbroken Anonymous. And people really come and use it as a space where they say things out loud that they can't say to anyone, either whether it's their partner, their parents, admit to themselves. And so, this is a huge, huge thing. What sparked this idea? And tell us more just about Lady Secrets in general. I know it comes out, it's actually available right now. The listening of this podcast came out September 20th. It's hilarious, but it's also terrifying at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I think as women, we carry so much shame about all these things that men can just do freely and they get a pat on the back for, and women are very embarrassed and they're very cringy, and we just hold on to so much weight that we didn't even do it on purpose, but by sharing our stories on our podcast and being really open about the embarrassing shit that goes on being a woman, we ended up having all of the girls in our community sort of kind of do that in our Facebook group and share little secrets about, not secrets, but share experiences about themselves. And what we realized with this book is that there are no unique secrets, right? People are writing in this thing. They're like, I've never told my doctor, my partner, my best friend, because I'm so ashamed. And then we read it, and then there's 5 other secrets that came in that were the exact same thing. So I guess the point of this book, and if any woman can take anything away from it, is we're so much more alike than we are different. And we're all going through the same shit, and we're all embarrassed, and we're all ashamed. And hopefully by putting it out into the universe and having another woman read it, it releases a little bit of that weight.
Yeah. And people are releasing this anonymously, or are they sharing their information?
Yeah. So when we did our first book, Act Like a Lady, we had advice, and then we wrote like a bunch of essays about our lives. I wrote about my divorce. I mean, there's just tons of stories. And what we realized is that like literally everyone skipped over the advice. No one wanted to read it. It was trash. They wanted to read the personal essays. So this book is 30 plus personal essays about our lives. Like I literally wrote an essay about the time when I was on The Bachelor for 24 hours and got kicked off almost immediately.
Yeah. Well, week 2, right? You made it to week 2.
Which is worse than getting kicked off the first night.
It's like, just don't even like her face. Anyway.
Wait, Jack, why do you think it's worse?
Because the first night, it's like people get kicked off because he doesn't have enough time to talk to them. But for Kelty, she had enough time. He got to know her and was like, no thank you.
Oh my God, that's a hilarious theory.
So the girls, so it's all of our essays. So the book mostly is our essays in these like funny stories in like that Mindy Kaling, Chelsea Handler kind of way. And then we had a hotline, 1-844-SEXY-LADY, and you could call it and leave your secret, and then we transcribe them and put them in the book. So there's like a mix of like these anonymous secrets. They're all anonymous, but the book is now out and people are starting to read it and DM us and say, by the way, scholar shit was me. I'm the one that, they're owning it on DMs.
Yeah, so. But that's what's fun about it, because we got thousands of secrets sent in. We could only use, a good handful of them to make the book.
Yeah.
And so now girls can go out and see if their secret actually made it into the book.
And it's like a source of pride. Like, oh my God, my story about cheating on my husband with a hot swim instructor at my house during the daytime is in your book.
Yeah.
This freaks me out.
It's so
freaks me out.
It is, but it is healing in a way. Like Jack was saying, you do hold that energy when you hold in something that you feel. When you're holding it in, it's being stored somewhere in your body. Like that's literally trauma. So if you want to share about cheating on your husband, a la Desperate Housewives, because you fucked the gardener and you want to put it in a book and that makes you feel lighter during the day, then then do it. But was there a secret in there that wasn't as universal that you guys were sort of shocked to read, or was more niche or unique that you were like, whoa?
What about?
They're like, yeah, we didn't put that one in. It can't be that dark.
Well,
there were a
lot
few
that
legal
was
things.
Like crime, like real crime. We couldn't put in. We put in a lot of
like
crime.
Murder.
Not murder. There was just there are some things that were.
LadyGang turns into a true crime podcast.
I mean, I have a different true crime podcast. Kelty can't even listen to it. She has a brain diet, she calls, because she's scared of things.
Actually, one of the secrets that I shared in Lady Secrets is about how when I was working at Entertainment Tonight, I was going to like the Spike Guys Choice Awards. This is like something that used to exist. And Norman Reedus, like the Walking Dead show or whatever, was being honored that night as Man of the Year. But because of my brain diet, guys, I don't watch anything with gore, scary, blood, like nothing. I can't do it. So I had no idea who this man is. And so his publicist comes and it's like, no, looked like fucking loser.
Guy.
I was like, who's this guy in this jean? Like, no, thank you. I was like, I'm waiting for Jessica Alba. So I skipped him, and then it came back, and I got so much trouble that like huge publicist was like, fire her. And at the show, they were like, fire her. And then I didn't know what to do. I really didn't know who he was. And so I just blamed it on my period. And I've been holding this in for so long. I told the publicist that I had just got my period and I had some blood running down my leg and I was wearing this nudie dress and I needed to like get off the carpet. But that was not the truth. The truth is I didn't study before. I was very overworked and tired and I didn't know who Normie was. Sorry, Normie.
Well, Kelty, wait, what year was this, Kelty?
I have I think, 2014? 2015. I'm wearing a terrible dress.
It was from a long time ago.
I'm very ill at the time.
So
I was very overworked.
As someone who's like, we're all hosts, but like in the same way that you host, I wonder, do you think that things have changed? I'm just curious. I just wanted to ask you a personal question because it's like, are we expected to know every single thing, every single person? Yes. But is that like realistic? It's like,
because there's so much shit out there.
There's so much out there today where I would now in 2022 would expect my boss to understand, that it's like, I didn't watch that.
No, I mean, I used to I remember.
And I watch everything.
Right. I remember Grammy Awards where I would start studying in November for awards season and like Grammys and Oscars. And I had little recipe cards with everyone's name, their marriage, how long, nominations. Like I would have to study everything. And it's kind of shitty now that that kind of stuff is not really rewarded because all you need is a viral moment. Like you just need Jane Fonda to come up to Lizzo on the red carpet and be like, it's about that time. And like, that's the lead story. And you're like, that took no effort, you know? So it's kind of a bummer.
Like just luck.
But I also think stardom has changed. Like, whereas when I was doing it, it was like there were these 25 megastars of the world that you were trying to get at all times. And now it's like, if you're into TikTok, this star is this person. If you're into The Bachelor, this person. If you're into Game of Thrones, it's this person. Like, it's so, everything's so niche. And that's why having a podcast is awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
By the way, Robert De Niro likes the background that Naz has right now. I thought that was the coolest thing.
Laughed at that.
I'm sorry, that was so random, but like I'm looking at this and I'm like, holy shit, that's my viral moment.
That's your house, right?
No, yeah. So I interviewed De Niro and Bale yesterday morning on Zoom, and I was like so excited to talk to De Niro. Obviously, it was my first time,
but he's super weird.
He was just like, "Is that your?" He's like, "Can I ask you something?" I was like, "Yeah," and I'm like waiting for this, like, you know, like, oh shit, am I in trouble? Because it's De Niro, and the way he speaks is like
scary.
Come to my, like sit in the corner. And he was like, Is that your house? Is that a real background? It's like, yeah. And I like moved around. I'm like, yeah, I'm in my guest room. He's like, nice.
He thought your room was a set, and I think that's so cool.
Oh my God.
Okay, wait, I don't know.
That's like the biggest compliment.
Yeah, I think it's really cool.
I love it.
We've got to take a quick break and talk about one of our favorite sponsors. One that is so perfect for the weather that is approaching here on the East Coast. Sorry, Naz, you probably are not feeling that vibe of wanting to wear cozy sweaters or boots or anything like that.
No, I definitely do. I was walking through the pharmacy the other day, and you know how they have all the Halloween decorations up? I was like literally smelling all the pumpkin spice flavors, and I got ice cream the other day, and I got pumpkin spice. So I'm definitely in the mood for fall, and I'm ready to dress for fall season for sure.
That was a big lead up to talking about how you should get Rothy's shoes for the fall, because fall is not just for boots. Fall is definitely for flats. If I think of any season for flats, I think of Rothy's. And if you guys know our podcast, you know that Rothy's is also it's not just flats anymore. They actually have like sneakers that Lauren loves. They have purses. They have men's shoes. I do like the point, though, and the flat. Those are Rothy's, like classic signature, insanely comfortable shoes for skinnies or anything like that in the fall with like a blazer or a sweater. Super cute, super classic. We love them because they're made from recycled water bottles, which is insane. And
so insane.
It's so insane. Like, they've repurposed millions of single-use plastic water bottles, and they put it into a signature thread that is so comfy, and it's machine washable. And ever since I became a mom, man, am I washing my shoes more than ever. They're durable, washable.
I love that you mentioned durable, because I have had my pair of Rothy's since we first started talking about Rothy's, Ashley. I still have the same pair.
Amazing.
And they have lasted so long.
That's like 5 years.
5 years, not really, like no crazy wear and tear. Just like you, I throw mine in the washer too. I love the styles, and you can wear it during any season too. Obviously, they're perfect for fall and winter. You're going to want to keep your toesies warm. So yeah, find your new favorite shoes and get ready to be asked, are those Rothy's? Plus, you can get $20 off your first purchase at rothys.com/getit. That's ROTHYS.com/getit.
This all reminds me of Post Secret from the late 2000s, which is really fun. And it really brings it together here because there was this thing called Jonas Secrets.
Oh my God.
Where like you would submit all your Jonas secrets to like this Facebook, and then like twice a week they would release like hundreds of secrets, and we made it a couple times. Like we were because we were like groupies, and there'd be like people would put like X's on our face and be like, I hate these bitches.
Oh.
So did you guys have this for like Warped Tour?
Oh yeah. I mean, it was the same kind of thing for sure. I was what they called a scene queen because I was like one of the most well-known people in the scene, like on MySpace. Kelty probably
I can't believe Rolling Stone has not put you on the cover yet.
What?
You outlasted most of those dicks.
I have outlasted them, and I'm probably more successful than most of them.
But you are. That's the thing. That's what's really cool is that you were like the Penny Lane, like you're better known than basically everybody on those tours now.
Yeah.
So my let me give you a little backstory. One of my good friends we were roommates. Her name's Courtney. We were roommates in college. My shit was all Jonas plastered. I was the boy band groupie, and she was the Warped Tour groupie along with you. The funny thing is, Courtney and I both never slept with any of these people because, like, we were like virgins forever.
Yeah.
Well, Courtney's always, we won't go into other people's sex lives, but you know what I mean? We were like really innocent groupies. But she was... Oh, really?
No,
so she was really good friends with you. And I thought it was cool because she was basically friends with the queen of the emos. And you call yourself emo. What do you call yourself? The emo
queen?
But you're an emo queen. And like anybody who was part of that Warped Tour scene knows who Jack is because Jack, you like made these, because like all the graphic things that we've seen so far for LadyGang, you used to do that for the Warped Tour. I
had my own brand called Jack Vanek, and I had like rubber bracelets that everybody wore with different words on them and all that kind of stuff. But
genius.
No, I was a virgin until I was like 23, but then I really made up for lost time after that. And that is how that happened.
Jack, do you have any lady secrets? Because I know Kelty, you obviously shared one. From your time at work.
Poopy secret.
Yeah, do you have like a groupie secret
and that
you can
too.
share with us?
What do I want to share? Well, I did, speaking of like celebrities, because hers was a celebrity, I did accidentally go on a date with Josh Duhamel once.
Accidentally?
That's so funny.
Yeah. Well, I was on a date. Do you guys know who Oliver Hudson is?
Yeah, it's Kate Hudson's brother.
Yeah.
So
So hot.
Yeah.
He was on our podcast.
So sexy.
So hot. I wish I could have dated him, but he's been married for a long time.
So much same.
He was on our podcast. I was single at the time, and he's like, I have like the perfect guy to set you up with. It's my friend Josh, blah, 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 blah. Didn't tell me anything about him. I go on a date with this Josh guy. It was not Josh Duhamel. Mm-hmm. But then during the date after brunch, where I was like, this is not the guy for me, like definitely not. No, thank you. Mm-hmm. He was like, ooh, so I have like a friend that's going through some girl troubles. Like, do you mind if he meets up with us? And I was like, sure, whatever. And then 20 minutes later, in comes Josh Duhamel. And then I spent the whole rest of the day, like 10 hours, basically on a Bachelor 2-on-1 with these two men.
Two Joshes,
Josh number 1 and Josh number 2.
Josh squared.
And
so
I titled it Josh squared. And I tried to make out with Josh Duhamel because the other Josh wasn't for me, and it didn't work. But
the thing about
and his girl troubles, were they with Fergie or that girl with the really cut face?
That girl. I don't remember her name. Something with an E or something.
You like her, Naz. You like have a girl crush. Eliza.
She's got that amazing. Is it a new face or is it same face?
It's a new face.
Her face
it's a new face.
Whoever did that face. Wait, we're moving.
Eliza, whatever her name is.
Wait,
Gonzalez? Eliza Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Eliza Gonzalez. Yeah.
Oh.
She has the buccal fat removal.
Yeah. But you know what, Doctor?
She's like the one who started that.
You know what, Ash? Let me leave you with a tip. Dr. Diamond told me that sorry, we're moving, so if it's very loud, I don't know where we're going.
You guys are good.
They're taking us somewhere. I hope they took my stuff out of hold on, let me just make sure they got my stuff. Okay. Anyway, they did, right?
Yeah, there's no way we'd leave that.
Sorry, my bag is outside. Dr. Diamond, this is chaos. Dr. Diamond,
I love the fact that you refer to him as Dr. Diamond like I'm supposed to know who he is, in which, of course, I do know who he is.
Oh, Dr. Diamond is
who's Dr. Diamond?
Dr. Diamond is the most famous face plastic surgery. If someone has a great face, Dr. Diamond did it.
Yeah.
Like,
really?
I'm not going to say who. I'm not going to blow up the spot.
But Kelty did get a neck lift from him.
I got a neck lift from him.
That's right.
Anyway, Dr. Diamond
you told me about that once.
That it's not good for everyone to get the buccal fat removal because, yes, it looks great now. You have this like cheekbone, but then you've removed the fat that's supposed to hold up your face.
And it gives you jowls.
Whoa.
So you will get jowls later. It's a recipe for a disaster. I'm just letting you guys know.
Oh, that's
okay.
terrifying.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
I'm not really I don't really want it. It looks too
I want
much
it
for me.
I would
on it?
Have it. I would do anything to my face. He literally is like,
I would do anything to my face.
Because what I did is I did the Kybella and the cool sculpting, and I did everything to my chin. And then he was
wasn't that like your like insecurity, your chin, jaw, like neck area?
Well, she did too much and it made it worse.
And made it wobbly because you have to have fat in your face and your body. Fat
you need it to hold it up.
To your muscle.
You need fat as you get older.
This whole world is telling us.
Thank God for McDonald's.
Yeah,
I know.
Everyone's like, get rid of fat, but then your face just becomes floppy.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what do you think is happening to Tom Brady's face? We talked about this in the last podcast, but now, like, since you're really into this stuff and it's a pop culture crossover, as both of our podcasts, like, what do you think's going on there?
I haven't seen his face recently.
It looks like he got a facelift.
It's probably a facelift. Is he 40s yet? You get your first facelift at 45. 45. Okay, so yeah, it's probably a facelift. I do think men get filler and it can be I think filler in general and
jarring.
I have tons, but like it can be too much. And
it can go wrong very easily.
And also like, he changed his diet? Because I know he was like super clean eater, like, and eating like avocado ice cream and stuff. Like if he ate some gluten, that's what I look like. You know what I mean?
That's what I look like. Kelty obviously hasn't seen a picture of Tom, but we talked about him too much in the last podcast, so we're going to move on.
Okay, so we're going to take a quick break to talk about Glad Skin. And I love the name of this brand, and I love this new brand. I'm recently obsessed with it because it has it's called Glad Skin for a reason, because it makes your skin really glad. So my favorite products from Glad Skin are the body wash and the makeup remover. I've been hyper alert, I guess is a word, or sensitive to like the ingredients that I'm putting on my body. And they have so many incredible things. Like they have this cream actually that specializes in eczema. And I know childhood eczema is really common, right, Ash?
Yeah. Luckily, I don't have to deal with that. Dawson's been having pretty like easy skin. Like his skin isn't really easily it's not sensitive, and it doesn't get like dry or itchy or anything like that. But I know that so many parents have to deal with that. So if your child has what I can't ever pronounce, eczema. Eczema?
Eczema. Oh my God.
Eczema. Know that you are not alone. Childhood eczema. Eczema is really common, and lots of families and kids struggle with that dry, inflamed, itchy skin. So if you're worried and you don't want to put like strong medicines and creams on your baby, like it makes sense. But there is Gladsin, and it's steroid free, and it's clinically proven to reduce eczema symptoms safely and quickly. So parents, this is not just for your skin, because it could be awesome for your skin, but it can also be really helpful for your babies and little ones.
It's really for people of all ages with eczema prone, acne prone, and rosacea prone skin, because when you look at the itchiness or redness or inflammation or discomfort in your skin, it's really all about the skin microbiome. And so what's cool about Glad Skin is they have microbalance, which is this revolutionary protein that actually restores the balance of the good and bad bacteria that live on your skin so that it can all heal. So if, again, acne prone, eczema prone, rosacea prone skin, definitely look up Glad Skin. You will be glad that you did.
So if you've been frustrated with treatment options, don't wait to try GladSkin. They are offering our listeners 15% off plus free shipping on your first order at gladskin.com/getit. That is gladskin.com/getit for 15% off plus free shipping. Gladskin.com/getit.
Ashley, wait, do you have a secret since in the spirit of lady secrets that you want to share?
Well, I was going to talk, I'm not sure, like, that's not really juicy because, like, Kelty really started this podcast off by talking about, like, pooping her pants recently. Yeah. So I was going to admit to this time where I was retelling, I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast before, but we laughed really hard. So I was in elementary school. There was a sleepover. I pooped my pants. And one time I was retelling this story and we laughed so hard.
Pooped your pants.
And I let out and this was like about 6-7 years ago. Retelling the story, laughed so hard I farted. But then I went upstairs and realized that while telling my shitting my pants story, I shit my pants.
That is so meta.
So meta.
And I will tell you, those were the only 2 times in my entire life that I shit my pants. And I was so embarrassed. And this was like when I was retelling the story, it was like during Bachelor time. Like I was very like comfortable with myself and making fun of myself at that point.
You weren't wanting to poop your pants.
I wasn't, no, but it was like just with my sister and my cousin. So I was like not at that point in my life where I was thinking like I would be embarrassed to like tell somebody that I shit my pants. But I went upstairs and I saw the shit in my pants, and I was actually too embarrassed to go and tell them. Because I wanted, like, how funny would that be to be like, guys, we were laughing so hard that I farted so loud that I
shit my pants again.
But I was actually like too embarrassed.
But it comes back to Lady Secrets. Like, it is so genius, and I love that you guys are putting this out into the world, because it's like, why are we so like, who cares? But then at the same time, I was trying to think of if I had a secret, and I feel like I'm such an open book that I don't have many. But one thing I do that I don't know if I've said out loud is, like, before going on dates, I will pay to get my makeup done, and then on the date I'll be like, oh, I shot something this morning. Like, I'll just like act like it was like hard work. But, you know, because I could do that. I could be like, oh, I had a shoot this morning when it's like I had absolutely nothing going on. Literally was like, oh my God, I have a date. I need to look fucking amazing for this.
Wait, that's great.
That's genius.
Is that a good secret?
That is a good secret.
Yeah, okay. Not every lady secret is about crime or pooping your pants. Like, there's a lot of lady secrets that are just about your own ego and the weird ass shit we do as women that like make us feel a little bit better about ourselves. But like the white lies, like sometimes the white lies are even better than the big lies.
Yeah.
Like
that needs to be your next book, Lady White Lies.
Yeah. We had this woman write in. So she hates her in-laws and she's been married for like 17 years or something. And she wrote in, this is like such a great example of this white lie, because now you got to always put that makeup on if you ever saw that guy again. But
100%.
She said, I hate my in-laws so much that I faked being narcoleptic. So like I went to Thanksgiving dinner and I fell asleep on his shoulder. And now, and like, I just thought now they're married and she goes to hockey games, football games, family functions,
and she's
weddings.
Keeping it up.
Whenever she's
doesn't
like
want to be around the
done,
in-laws.
she's like had too much. She just pretends to fall asleep.
And she's like, I'm awake. I deserve an Oscar. I can hear the in-laws talking about this girl can sleep anywhere. And she's like, I just shut off. And so, you know, it's like, that's a great white lie that just is now following you to your deathbed.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man.
Oh my God. That's hilarious. Jack, did I forget your secret already?
Josh Duhamel, bitch.
Oh, Josh Duhamel. Oh my God. Wow. Can we come up with another one? Because that was so good. I want 2 more secrets from both of you guys.
Okay. My other secret that's completely different is, which one do I want to do? It's the secret that starts the book off, because this is something that I hadn't told anybody in my entire life. I have constipation problems going back to pooping. And
it always, why does every podcast, I don't know about you guys, but like every podcast comes back to pooping, 50% of them.
No one's talking about it.
Nobody's
and you're like so relieved to hear someone that's constipated. A beautiful girl like Jack Vanek can't poop. You know?
My God.
Yeah. And we're told to not talk about it, and we can't talk about it in front of men, or then we'll be seen as like undateable, unwifeable.
It's like toilet humor that only men can
enjoy. Walk in on my husband pooping once, and I couldn't have sex with him for like 2 weeks. So I understand. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, anyways, I would use the squatty potty to poop, and in a move I lost it, so I didn't know what to do. So I put my feet up on the toilet like this, like a gargoyle, and it is the best position to poop in my entire life. It makes everything just come out perfectly, and I've never told anybody, not even my fiance. Because if he walked in on me on the toilet with my knees tucked up to my shoulders, it would be very jarring for him.
Wait, Jack, I do the same exact thing, and they have travel squatty potties. I have 2 squatty potties in my house. Remember, Ashley, one time literally, Ashley and Jared were at my house, and a guy was coming over, and Jared was like, you need to hide the squatty potty.
We both thought so.
It looks just like part of your
I have the wood one, but even then, they were like, hide it. So I hid it. But when I go to hotel rooms, if I don't want to travel with one, Jack, I take the little trash can
and put your feet on it.
In the bathroom, and I'll flip it over if there's nothing in it, and I'll put my feet on that.
Genius.
We call it a poopnique.
Yeah, Poopnik.
Poopnik. I love it. Wow.
One more story.
Kelty, give me one more secret.
Okay, well, I haven't talked about this one yet at all during our
exclusive.
So everyone knows that I am desperate for fame. I'm starting to get over it in my 40s.
It lives in our bones.
It's still here.
That's funny.
When I was the most desperate for fame, I would say it's around 2016. I had just started working. I hadn't moved over to Entertainment Tonight. I was on The Insider, and I was on my 9th Oscars. Like, I'm covering the Oscars. And every year I'd cover the Oscars, and I would get a beautiful dress, and I would just do the parties, but they would credential me in case, like, whoever the host of the show was, the important one, got sick. I would be the backup. So I always had a credential for the Oscars. So I got to walk the Oscars red carpet, like, multiple times without ever going to the Oscars or covering the actual Oscars. I was only there, like, to do the Elton John party or whatever. Anyway, so one year I was like, I got to get this straight. I got to get focused. So I had all my dresses lined up, and I was like, I'm Canadian. I'm going to do this thing. And I got this special article in Elle Canada with, like, my Canadian designer. I was like, no, I'm going to be the Oscars, because, like, I always was, but, like, I wasn't. Anyway, so then that year was the year they changed the rules. I did not get a credential for the Oscars that year. And I was shocked because Elle Canada, AKA Kelty's going to be famous, finally happened. And I couldn't get my picture on the Oscar red carpet. So I traded Oscar credentials with a PA who kind of looked like me. I snuck on the Oscars red carpet, had my photo taken with the dress on the red carpet as if I was supposed to be at the Oscars, gave it back, thought my evil plan worked. And then Bunny Teagle, this wonderful, awesome, famous producer who, rest in peace, died from cancer a few years ago, called me into her office at 4:15 in the morning and went, "What have you done?" I almost got fired, but the picture's horrible.
No way.
The dress is horrible. It was my last Oscars.
Not
I
worth
was
it.
demoted after that. I never got to go there again.
You were demoted?
I mean, not demoted, but, like, no one ever gave me the credential for the Oscars again. I was at the Vanity Fair Oscar party forever, which is, like, on a whole other side of town. I didn't wear dresses anymore. I wore an ASOS tuxedo suit with, like, a flat loafer for the rest of my Oscar experiences, because I was like, why am I trying so hard? Clearly no one cares about your outfits, Kelty.
No.
Chill the fuck out.
No.
I have yet to chill out, but I've been chilled out.
Yeah, she's so chill.
That's so funny.
Mad respect for your, like,
Hustle.
openness about wanting to be famous, because aren't we all, or at least me. I love being. I love being like. I love it.
I love it.
I love it.
We just played a show in Boston
because we're, like, exactly the same sort of level. I'd say of, like, good D-list, a good D-list.
Yeah, like, I can get a free pair of jeans and I can get to a party.
And I could get in Us Weekly, like, you know, like, I'll make a, like, this, you know, a little, like,
better, but no one's doing that. Come inside my house.
You're not getting Architectural Digest looking at your house.
Right. No.
I'm definitely not going to be on, like, the best, on, like, any sort of dress list, but, like, it'll be, like, in like, little, like, in family news.
Yeah.
Or
and then
like,
I'll be, like,
Ashley
in family
takes
news.
out the trash, you know?
Yeah. So I'm very happy with that, and I love that you're just not scared to say that you're into it. So,
I mean,
did you
I'm
sign
not
up for The
happy with
Bachelor?
that. I want to be very clear. I'm not happy with that.
That's shameless.
Literally, we are paying a very high-powered publicist to get us on your podcast at this moment to talk about our book, because I'm not happy with that, Ash. I don't want to be in family news. I would like to be in Oscar de la Renta gown updates from award season, but live your life, you know?
Well, it's gonna happen, Kelty. It's gonna happen.
I don't know, Kelty. Now we've, like, made ourselves, like, our thing is now like
you can't reinvent yourself. I'm
talking about
quickly.
real life things, and real life, you know, people who are on, like, the best dress list, they don't talk about real life things.
No, it's true, but
there's
I feel like
that, like, she doesn't have.
I don't have the mystique. I feel like Chrissy.
Nor do
I could be like the Chrissy Teigen of. No, you know what? But it doesn't matter, because I just am doing a lot of therapy on myself and self-work, and I'll let you know when I feel good about being able to grow vegetables in my garden to eat and not Instagram them. It's
It'll
not
never
for outward
happen.
appreciation.
I love it.
It's not happening.
And that's a perfect place to end. You guys are both so funny. LadyGang is iconic. You're iconic. And Lady Secrets is out now, guys. Read it. The secrets are so universal and relatable and hilarious. And maybe they're the secret that you're holding on to right now. Who knows? You got to buy it to find out.
We need you on more.
I know, you guys got to come on our podcast.
Yeah,
We would love to come
fine.
on. Also, I want to see you guys live. You guys are so funny.
Where do you live? Are you in LA?
I'm in Silver Lake, yeah.
LA, our show's sold out, unfortunately, but we have a lot of tickets in Columbus, Ohio.
She's too famous. She's too famous.
I'll come to Ohio to see you guys.
Come to Ohio. Ohio.
All right. We love you guys. Have the best time. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us.
Sorry, we're hot garbage. Bye.
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 I don't get it.
Podcast.